My name is Stephan Rabai. I've been a Howard County resident for the better part of 49 years.
Great. And I'm Ann Francis, and I moved to Howard County after a divorce, moving up from Culver County, and I have lived in Columbia for 31 years. Thank you. Well, the mall is the center of services for me. As a diabetic and with multiple physical problems, I have found certain areas in the food court that permit me to follow a restricted diet. I relied on Chick-fil-A, occasionally Starbucks, the Bistro Ristorante, and for beef, Ruby Thai Kitchen. Their pepper steak was wonderful. I would eat at least 2, sometimes 3 times a day, depending upon how my meals were scheduled. I would buy clothes at Penny's. Their sale prices permitted me to maximize my wardrobe, which is very difficult when you're homeless. I bought books at Borders. The library doesn't have all the books that I want. Or if they have them, I find that I want to make notes and underline and make the book really mine. So I was an excellent customer at Borders. The bus is very crucial to me. My prescriptions are only available at Harper's Choice Safeway. I can't take the bus to the Safeway because it originates at the mall.
Since I've become homeless, the mall has just been mainly a point of refuge when the library is closed. Thanks to various gift cards, I have been able to purchase coffees and food at Starbucks, Panera, McDonald's. Basically, I'd go to the mall to read and do crossword puzzles before the library opens in the morning and after they close in the evening, or on government holidays, the library's closed, but the mall was still open. I believe it was February 2nd. I was sitting in the mall reading a book. I was upstairs outside Restoration Hardware where they have a sofa and chairs set up. It was sometime after 9 o'clock, not yet 9:30. Said I was observed on camera entering the mall through a restricted corridor and after hours. He said, you have to leave. If you're caught doing this again, you'll be banned from the mall. Later on, I did go back and investigate the door during business hours. It was not marked as restricted, and other people I've spoken to have looked at the door and confirmed that it is not marked. Approximately a week after this, I again entered the mall through one of the major common entries, walked through the newest wing, which leads to Nordstrom, through the Nordstrom store upstairs, and resumed my favorite seating locale there outside the Restoration Hardware. At approximately 9:15, I was approached by 2 security guards, one with a K-9 and a Howard County police officer. It was the same security guard who had spoken to me the prior week. He in some fashion reiterated or questioned me, did I remember being warned not to come in after hours. I expressed to him that I had entered the mall that evening at 8:30 through a major entrance and up through Nordstrom to the place where I was sitting. He said that he was ordered by his boss to ban me. He proceeded to fill out the banning notice, and it was time-stamped or written out time as 9:28, at which time 4 of the 5 anchor stores are still open, so I would think that technically the mall is still open at that time also. I didn't argue with him. I accepted the notice and left.
On the morning of January 27th, which was the last severe, icy, heavy snowfall that we've had so far this year, I had gone to the mall early because they open at 6 for walkers. I had come back from Starbucks, where I had purchased a breakfast sandwich and coffee, and I was descending the staircase in front of the carousel to get back to my table. At the base of the staircase, I was met by a security officer who asked me not to leave my things at the table when I was not there because they would be confiscated by housekeeping in the future. And at that point, I held up the sandwich and drink to him and said, I was at Starbucks. Well, I understand, but I've been told this, that, and the other. And off I went. In the course of the day, I used the restroom and purchased an additional beverage at Chick-fil-A, which had not been open for breakfast because of the difficulties with the roads. And I came back, and the same officer approached me again and said, would I please, as a favor to him, just leave the mall for that remainder of that day, and I could come back the following day, no problem. So I had purchased an additional soda, and I gathered up everything and left. And outside the mall, I ran into Mr. Stephan and was informed that the library was closed because of the inclement weather. And I thought, wonderful, now what do I do for warmth? Because I was facing from 1:30 in the afternoon until 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock the next morning being outside in the elements. I proceeded to use the mall the same way I always had, and on the 3rd of February I was approached by the same officer again, I guess to keep things in line, and he had the paperwork in hand for mall banning, and it was all ready for a year. And when he got to the section delineating the offenses for which one could be banned, he was unsure of what to check, so he selected disturbing the peace.
And now that I'm banned from the mall, I have no place to go, period. I hang out exclusively at the library.
And so I have been outside ever since. And the problem is, not only do I not have access to the stores I used to patronize, but many of the people, security officers, Howard County Police, patrons, vendors, became very good friends. They are my extended family. And I am so thrilled and pleased that so many of them have not forgotten me, that over the course of the month and a half that I have been banned from the mall, they make the journey to the Central Library to see me.